What's going on, guys? So a couple months ago, I made a video of me clearing out my system storage on my iPhone and pretty much giving my iPhone 13 Pro new life, getting back nearly 60 gigabytes of data. And it seems like a lot of you guys have that issue. And I'm here to show you another way that you can do this on the MacBook side of things. And this is something that does not involve wiping your computer, even though that is a solution. It's not the best solution. But without further ado, we got to talk about the people who pay the bills on this channel, which is our sponsor for today, nobody. So the most important question is, what is system data and why can't I delete it? So system data is something that is pretty much used in caching to help speed up the performance of your Mac. So stuff like your application, your browser, there's a high likelihood that no one actually cares, so let's just jump right to the instructions. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this entire process. So let's go ahead and show you guys my storage. So as you can see here, 245 gigs, so 256. And then look at my system data. Wait for it. Wait for it. Look at this. It's still calculating, but yeah, this is my system data. 127 gigabytes of system data. How crazy is that? So first things first, you want to Google mole clean my Mac, and it's going to be this first link here. For people who know what GitHub is and you're not technical, I know this might seem daunting, but just trust me on this. Follow these steps. They're super straightforward. You're going to get back storage on your computer. You can use Homebrew. Personally, for beginners, I would say just use this curl command and you'll be completely fine. So I'm just going to go here, hit copy. You're going to open up your applications and open up Terminal, but you can just type in term, and Terminal should be the first one that shows up here. So your terminal might look different than mine. That doesn't really matter here. I'm going to zoom in just so you guys can see. Then you just want to paste in that command. And it's downloading mole. And then you're going to have to type in your password that you use in order to get into your MacBook. So I'm just going to type that in real quick. And just like that, you have mole, and you're also a hacker. I'm just kidding. These are all the different commands that you can run, but to be honest, I'd say just follow the features in detail. So just gonna go ahead and do mo clean, hit enter, and then you can enter again. So right now, it's basically showing all the stuff that it's going to be cleaning out. So the cache files, the temp files, the crash reports, the logs. This computer, the M1 MacBook, has kind of been the guinea pig for a lot of the stuff that I do when it comes to macOS and iOS stuff, but also your browser stuff, system diagnostic trace logs, nothing else to clean. So now it's just scanning all these items to see what else it can clean. After that entire deep clean is done, we're going to go ahead and do the Smart App Uninstaller, which I actually kind of love. And then you have the system optimization. I'm probably going to stop here because I'd say unless you're doing like development work, this is not really needed. But if you do development work, if you use your laptop for years and there's just like bloated stuff on your computer, I'd say the optimize is a fantastic command that you guys can run. But we're just going to let this run. I'm going to hold the computer up like this and do a time lapse, and then we'll see what my storage is when we get back. All right, so going to stop right here. It's basically saying, does the terminal want access to data from other apps? If you don't want to do this, you can, but since it is doing a deep clean, I'm going to go ahead and hit allow. And so far, it's cleaned out about 15 gigabytes of cache data, application data. So right now it's just going through some sandbox applications, the browser cache, and it's just going to keep on going. Developer tools will be very interesting. I don't think I have Xcode installed on here. Let me see. Yeah, this computer does not have enough. All right, so the script is now done, and now we got back about 17 gigabytes of free data. So the next command that we want to run is the mo uninstall, because applications do take up a decent amount of storage here. So I'm just going to run this command. So it's going to sort applications by the oldest up into the newest. And I'd say really just go through each one of these. It's only 49. You're going to do this probably like once a year, maybe twice a year. So there are apps that I really don't need anymore. So if you want to select it, just go ahead and hit the space bar and then just go through with your arrow keys. So once you have all those apps selected, you can go ahead and hit enter. And it's just going to go through and uninstall. You can see what it's doing from up here. All right, so after this, once again, this is a little bit different from just doing the traditional deleting applications through the applications folder. This is actually going to go down and see everything that is related to the application and remove it from your system completely. So it's saying that about 7 gigs is going to be returned back to me. So I'm going to hit enter to confirm. And that's going to ask for my password that I used in order to log into my MacBook. Go into the enter, and then just like that, you're going to see all the applications uninstall one by one. All right, so it says hit enter to go back to the application list or click any other key to exit. Since I've already gone through all the applications that I've wanted to delete, I'm just going to hit, I don't know, a random key. And just like that, I am out of the menu now. So last but not least, I would say if you are a person who does development work, I'd say that the Mo Optimize is pretty good to run. But if you don't do any development work, I'd say just skip this step. And while this is running in the background, I'm going to show you some other steps in order to get back some of your storage. So yeah, it already says that it's been pretty much cleaned out. If you run Docker, you can probably do like Docker system prune. And I do want to continue. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure like in terms of Docker, there's like nothing really installed on this computer here. If you run the mo analyze command, it is going to give you information about all the different directories, but Apple does this already in some aspects. So if you go to general here, go to storage, and then once this information loads, you can actually see all the different storages for each section or category, I should say. So documents is a big one. As you can see here, app library is showing up as 60. But if you go over to documents, click on the eye, and then click file browser, that's what I like. A large culprit for a lot of people is going to be downloads. My suggestion is this. If you save a lot of stuff in your downloads, it might just be like file management that you might need to get into the habit of, talking to myself included. But if you don't really move stuff out of your downloads into your documents folder, your desktop and stuff like that, your downloads folder is going to be a nightmare to sift through. So to be honest, I don't think there's anything that I need in my downloads folder. I don't recommend you do this unless you have the same sentiment as me. But downloads, there's not much that I need to go through. Maybe there might be some important documents that I need to move over into my documents folder or my desktop folder. But other than that, I'd say all this stuff can just get deleted and move it to the trash. That's 12.4 gigs gone right there. And then once that's there, I'm going to move it, empty the trash, and it's gone for good. Once again, highly recommend you do not do this unless, once again, you have the same sentiment as me. If you've already moved stuff out of your downloads folder into where you need it to go, I'd say just get rid of it. And then in future aspects of you just like managing your computer, move your important documents out of that folder and then just get rid of that stuff. As you can see here, my system data went from I think like 127 all the way down to 67, and I have nearly 100 gigabytes of data. I can go to applications here. As you can see, dynamic wallpaper. It's really just this that I have in the background. If I open up a new desktop here, people always ask about these backgrounds, but it's just dynamic wallpaper. It's all the wallpapers that I download. That's taken up like 5 gigs, but I'm completely fine with that. Docker is another big one. I'd say if you do a lot of development work, this 256 gigabytes of storage is going to be very hard to deal with. I'd say 512 should at least be your minimum. 1 terabyte, you're pretty comfortable, but you can also go through here in the applications and then delete whatever you need to. You can just hit this delete button, you should be fine. So for example here, code, VS Code, just gonna hit delete, gone. This is actually another good one as well. Let me actually run this. I mean, it's probably gonna be gone by now since I deleted my downloads folder, but yeah, while this is running, I'm just gonna open up a new tab, paste this command in, and it's basically going to scan my entire computer for any installers. So pretty much any .dmg file. As you can see here, downloads is a lot because people just move stuff to trash and they never really delete it here. And yeah, the last thing I was gonna say, if you do find this helpful, please make sure to support and give this guy an ice cold Coke. As you can see here, these are the people that are his official sponsor, and then people who have tipped him. Pretty nice, cool animation down here. But once again, this is how to get back your system data in I want to say, a technical way, but I think a lot of people, the commands are pretty straightforward. It's going to free up a lot of system data for you. So if this is helpful, please let me know down in the comments below. Like I said, since I wiped my downloads folder, there's no DMG files. But yeah, appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. Can use my Mac again. Yeah, this is a bit of a blooper, but yeah, if you want to just get back your system data and there's a lot of stuff on your Mac you don't care about, just wipe your computer. You'll be fine.